there's plenty of Gothic eras, right? Obviously, it was kind of a mishmash, like you say, like kind of English kind of Gothic architecture. Like they could go more into like the weirder shit, more into the European side.
I like how you said English isn't part of Europe.
We're like an island, dude. You know, Brexit means Brexit, guy. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm your host for today, Ethan, and joining me is my good friends, Kyle and Hunter. Hey guys, how you doing?
Pretty good. I'm just swell.
Got the other glasses on today. Wow. I've got so many glasses now. I've gone from a one pair of glasses in 5 years to like too many, and I feel like I'm just gonna throw them away each episode. Just get a new pair.
Is it bad that I didn't even notice?
You're a horrible friend. Yeah. Look.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, horrible person. Look, you see, these are just normal glasses. They're like yours, the ones you're wearing. Whereas these are like the hipster ones. You know, like
Kyle's normal glasses that are only for blue screen filtering.
Hey, they're normal.
Yeah, his Joker glasses, dude. His Joker fake glasses. But no, welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Well, this week we have video games. Games to talk about. Games, yeah. Well, I mean, technically, we're recording this show in two sections. So right now, we're going to talk about Metroid and Bluepoint, and then future Ethan, and I don't know if you guys will be there, but future Ethan's going to talk to Gary all about Monkey Ball Banana Splits, or whatever the fuck it's called, I don't know.
Ballroom Blitz.
Ballroom Blitz. Monkey Ball has the shits. We were past the minute mark, dude, I can swear. I don't know what that game is, but I'm sure Gary will tell us all about it later. But no, welcome back to the show, everybody, where every week we try to talk about things that happen in the world of gaming. I feel like we're going off the rails soon. I feel like we're just going to start talking about random shit. So, hey, but if you like gaming, then welcome on in. You can listen to on podcast services everywhere. Just search for Hot Games Only on your favorite podcast service, or go to linktr.ee/Hot Games Only. Find us on your favorite podcast service. Or if you want to see our stupid faces, youtube.com/Hot Games Only, where you can see us every Monday, look at each other weirdly and make insert jokes that nobody understands. It's great fun. Come on in. Be a video watcher, I guess, and watch how we give each other looks randomly during podcast episodes, just for no reason.
It's just Kyle gawking at my many eccentricities.
Yeah, or it's one of those things where someone's going on, like, talking on about something for too long, and the other two people just kind of look at each other real quick, and it's like, is this still going?
You're like, damn, wonder what's going on Twitter right now.
Exactly.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I would
crazy.
never do that.
Never, no,
Not
sir.
even once.
Not even a single time. But now, housekeeping. We have some videos coming up this week. Kane did a Genshin Impact video that'll be going up on Wednesday. It was supposed to cut last week, but I was so busy I didn't get a chance to do the thumbnail. I'm sorry, Kane. Please don't kill me. So I'll be going up on Wednesday. Hopefully the Life is Strange review is this Friday. Hunter, have you finished Kenna yet?
I did finish Kana. I started the script. I'll finish it up.
Okay, so you can look forward to that.
Metroid.
Yeah. I can look forward to that at some point in the future. But no, this week, we're talking all about Metroid. Cal's got it. Hunter's got it. Ethan doesn't have it. We'll get into that in a second, for a lack of trying.
Kyle only got it because Ethan didn't get it.
That is true. So we're going to talk everything about Metroid 5, all about it. See what I did there? I know what it is. I'm hip, guys. I'm a cool kid. I know what the Metroids are and all that stuff. Did you know Samus is a girl? Fun fact.
I'm sure that some people are learning that for the first time today.
Nah, dude, they know about Zero Suit. That's how they knew. That's how they knew. But no, we're going to talk about Metroid. Let's just get into it, right? So shall I tell the story of why I don't have Metroid? Basically,
yourself out.
The reason I don't have Metroid is I bought Metroid. I've given the money to Nintendo, technically. I haven't. I've given it to a website to get a copy of it. But because I ordered it on eBay for a discount code, and I ordered it with Mario Party, the way eBay dispatches work is they can't dispatch singular things from orders if they're from the same company. It has to be all or nothing. So I got an email from them going, lol, see Metroid in 3 weeks, bitch. We gotta wait for your Mario Party to come in. And I'm like, no.
You know, so Limited Run does a similar thing where they have a bunch of things go up, and like if you order them all at once, then the time that you could get them is kind of nebulous because it will go when the last one is ready, not at once. That's why I got both No More Heroes games and To the Moon all in a single package.
Yeah, and the annoying thing is, right, is the reason I bought them on eBay. I don't usually buy games on eBay shops, but the reason I did it was because it was the website that I usually use, but there was an eBay discount code for like 20% off, so I was getting these games even cheaper. I was getting them like for like £35 each, and I was like, bargain, steal, yes. And here we go, me trying to save a penny means I get to play the game in like 3 weeks' time. So I'm sure I'll have fun with Metroid in 3 weeks, but we'll find out on the podcast, I guess. So Cal's taken my place. He bit the bullet. You bought it. And Hunter was always going to play it because he made it. He gave himself a review copy of the game. I'm surprised the review isn't on. But yeah. I guess a good point to start with is to give your history on the franchise, right? What have you played of Metroid? Have you played any of the 2D entries? Have you played any of the 3D entries? I'll start. What's a Metroid? No clue. Thank you. Next question.
I'll go second. I played Super Metroid.
I'll go third. I also only played Super Metroid. I've done a little bit of like information gathering about the other ones, and I've been holding out for them to release the Prime Collection before the mythical unicorn that is 4.
Have you heard the rumor about how it's not even a collection anymore? It's just one.
What? No. If they actually do that, I'll be sad.
Yeah, I think, was it Imran Khan? I think it was Imran Khan said that from what he's heard, it's just a remaster of the first one and not 2 and 3.
Well, I guess I was going to say that's so annoying because like the one that wasn't even on the GameCube was 3, but it doesn't matter because to play 3, I would need the Wii. And then by default, I have the ability to play the GameCube ones.
I mean, to be fair, it's fine, because if they did release them, then you know that GameCube Online would be the next week, and then everyone that bought it would feel like a fool when it's part of the monthly subscription or whatever, like with Mario 64, so I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, I think like this is going to be an interesting conversation, because obviously, I feel like you guys like Metroidvanias. You've played Metroidvanias before. You like Metroidvanias. I fucking hate them, so I think it would have been a really great perspective to have, but unfortunately I've been dicked in by eBay. So I think it's still an interesting conversation nonetheless, because I feel like most of the reviews that have come out, obviously Metroid's got a lot of praise, and I could tell you no shit, Sherlock, because of course, Metroid fans, we're going to review Metroid, and if there's one thing Metroid fans love, it's Metroid. So it's like, of course it's going to do well. But no. I feel like this is
it's not like that. It's not like those daggum Pokemon fans that hate Pokemon.
Exactly. They don't like any Pokemon fans review Pokemon games, or they wouldn't do so fucking well each time. But yeah, I digress, right? I feel like it's an interesting point because most of the people that have been reviewing Metroid, that have been talking about it, are fans of the entire franchise. They played all 3 Prime games. They've played all of the 2D Metroids. They probably even played Blast Ball. They were that fucking into it. So I think it's interesting
Metroid
to have
Prime Federation Force.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be interesting to have like a more fresh perspective of people that have only really played Super. So I think it's going to be an interesting one. So where do you want to start, Hunter? As always, I'm throwing it to you because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this show.
All right. Well,
what are we talking about? What are we starting? Where are we starting from?
I guess we can start about how it controls. Like, Samus feels a bit more snappy in this one than she does in Super. Super Metroid, the jumping was...
It's been like 25 years.
Well, to be fair, Super Metroid is aged wonderfully.
Super Metroid aged amazingly.
Yeah, I only played it in 2019, so it's not like I have years of nostalgia looking back at this thing. I think it just holds up really nicely. But,
it does.
Yeah. So, for example, the jumping in that game was kind of floaty, and that's like a real deal breaker for some people. I don't think it matters so much because it's not like the level design is. It's not, the levels aren't designed around like some Celeste hoopla where you gotta make frame perfect jumps and whatnot. So a floaty jump doesn't really hurt that much, but it's a bit more like responsive in this game. As far as other things that you're kitted out with to start with in this game, you got a cool little slide maneuver. You got a melee counter. I think they introduced that in the remake of
Samus Returns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's satisfying to pull off. It's not very hard to do, but it still feels pretty good. pull off.
The enemies will get like this little glow around them when you can counter them.
Yeah, it's
So there's a
very
nice
simple.
visual tell.
Yeah. And I mean, one thing I've noticed from the small bits of trailers and stuff like that is obviously she looks a lot more fluid, but I feel like the reason that she does is because the animation work on Samus seems to be really fucking good.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I was just like looking at like even simple stuff like the walking or running animations, right? They look really smooth. It's not. It's in a weird way. Like most of the time when you see 2D games, right? Most of the time, and I'm not saying this to disparage most people that make 2D games, but the most of the time they're cheaper to make, so you usually get the cheaper kind of shit. You get the more simplistic animations and stuff like that. Whereas
or like a
Samus,
lot of it's like sprite based.
Yeah. Whereas Samus' animations of this are like fucking excellent. Like I saw a bit where she like had her arm on like part of the fucking wall or whatever. She was moving through a door, or she was like by a gap, and she put her fucking hand on the top of the gap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's shit that is like no one's gonna notice that. No
Yeah.
one is gonna ask for where's that when it's missing. So I'm just like, animation works really
Which
good.
I think is a testament to just the production value that went into this game, as far as all of their commitments to the detail and whatnot. All those people asking if 2D Metroid being 2D means it's not worth $60, I will say again, are fools.
Yeah, no Nintendo game's worth $60, dude.
Uh,
Nothing's worth $60. Let's be like, nothing's worth anything. Money is created by capitalism. Our game.
comrade.
Our game.
Yeah.
But I digress. So we were talking about controls. Obviously, I feel like that's like one of the most important parts of like a Metroid game in particular. I feel like people are very particular with their Metroidvania control schemes. Like, I feel like this is like you live and breathe by the way your game controls and feels when it comes to the genre. So would you say that it's a success in the way that they've
everything feels really
out?
good, and I'm excited to get more of the upgrades and stuff. Once getting to the end game where you're fully kitted out and have all the options will be super entertaining, I imagine.
So, Kyle.
Yo.
Let's talk a bit about the visuals of this game. Obviously,
right.
I don't know. I've heard mixed things about this, right? I've heard some people praise the art style and the way that this game looks. I've heard some people say that the art style is very fucking weird. Like, some people just like go look at the game and are like, it looks weird, and I kind of see it. And some people are just like, I don't like the art style at all. So I'm interested. What are you thinking about the visuals? Because obviously it's been a long time since we've had a 2D Metroid. Like, obviously we had the 3DS one, right? But like an actual new 2D Metroid, it's been fucking ages. First HD 2D Metroid. Is it the first HD Metroid in general?
Yeah, I think so. Other than was on the Wii.
Yeah. So yeah, this is like the first HD Metroid. What are you thinking of the visuals?
I think the game looks great. Honestly, it looks really, really pretty. One thing I really love is Samus's new suit. I really like the white and blue. It looks really good.
It plays nice with its color palette there. I like it quite a bit.
It was a weird one, right? I remember seeing the trailer for the first time and I was like, that suit looks weird. But when you started seeing the environments and the way that it just kind of looks in general, I'm like, okay, this is like a really nice kind of color palette. I remember I was a bit critical of the first trailer of Metroid Dread. I'll be honest here. We're all friends here. I'll be honest. I thought the game looked shite. But
judging Hunter's hard work.
I'm sorry, Hunter, but I thought your art
that it exists.
Yeah, I thought your art direction was terrible.
That was most of it.
But I don't know. And I still think there is something weird about the way the game looks. I still think it looks great. Don't get me wrong, especially for a Switch game. There's something about I don't know if it's like the texture work or the way that things kind of the lighting system works. There's something about the weird about how the game looks. Not in a bad way. It just looks different where I'm like, there's something I'm picking up on here that I'm subconsciously picking up on that I can't quite put my finger on.
I think I remember after the first trailer you saying something about it looking a little washed out.
Yeah, that was one of the things. But
so,
looking at the
the droids that are chasing you, when you kill one of those, the area that they're like sentrying becomes a little more vibrant.
Oh,
it's a cool little visual cue.
That's nice.
Because basically, those like fuzzy areas are only when the droids are chasing after you. That's
see,
like
and
their
that makes-
designated area.
That makes a load of sense.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at new footage, because obviously being being fucking banned from playing the video game, I was like, I'll at least look at some gameplay, right? And I was looking at it, and I was like, it does look a lot more vibrant. It does. My problems of the game looking like limited color range on a capture card, I was like, oh no, this is like there's some vibrance here, and there's some nice. Because I was scared that it was all going to be clinical. That was my fear. Is this game going to all be like these clinical white background gradients with these weird white robot GLaDOS looking asses chasing you around? And I was like, is this the entire game? And thankfully it's not. But even now looking at those sections, I'm like, okay, it actually does kind of have an interesting look to it.
But yeah, and as far as I only got like 2.5 to 3 hours of game time, but so far the amount of like variance in the environments has been pretty solid. I've been to like a cavern kind of area. I've been to one of the lab looking things. Got to a lava section.
Ayo.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's take
I
it
think
back.
the lava section's where I stopped.
Oh, nice. We're on launch day, by the way. This is when we're
Yes.
recording this. So,
Yeah.
literally, I've just pulled Callan Hunter off the game to talk about it. But let's take a step back, because I feel like we've missed a crucial point. For those people who have never played a 2D Metroid, for example me, what's the gameplay loop? What is the goal? What is the objective? What are we doing in this game? Because obviously, it's easy enough to say, Metroid is a Metroidvania, guys. And it's like, I'm sure
Yeah,
people have an idea of what a
indeed.
Metroidvania is, but for people that are new to the genre, because I feel like a lot of Nintendo fans, it's been fucking years since there has been a 2D Metroid. Because even the 3DS one, the Samus Returns one, came out after the
That was
3DS's life cycle.
2017,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
after the Switch was out. So, what is Metroid, especially a 2D Metroid? What's the gameplay loop? What's the story?
Okay, so the way the story is set up is basically I'll get into like better plot details in a minute, but I'll get to the point that sets up the gameplay for you. Samus goes to a new planet, gets attacked by Darth Vader looking Chozo man, and
Oh, see, I said the Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but that was just my take.
Isn't it weird that he's not in All Stars Brawl?
The Shredder?
Yeah.
Or Darth Vader?
Shredder, not Darth Vader. Shredder. Sorry, this is a tangent, right? But why
I
the
mean, Darth
fuck?
Vader was in Soul Calibur.
Why the fuck? Yeah, why
Yeah,
the
he was.
Possible.
Yeah, he was. That was not the weirdest thing in Soul Calibur.
This is true.
But going back to the tangent for a sec, why is Shredder not in fucking All Stars Brawl? Why the fuck did you pick two of the Ninja Turtles
it is weird that they're
And
like,
April
oh,
O'Neil.
and April O'Neil? I'm fine with April O'Neil, but why two turtles?
That is weird.
I've have one turtle in Shredder, or have all the turtles. Don't just pick two of them and go, oh, hope you like Leonardo and Raphael. Is it?
Michelangelo.
No, it's
I
not
think
even
it was
Raphael. It's
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo. What the?
Leonardo.
I mean,
I can't
everyone
believe
likes
they added another
Michelangelo.
sword character.
Like we all know the reason they didn't pick Donatello, right? But it's like,
yeah, 'cause
No
no
one
one
likes
cares about him.
Donatello.
he's always last. And this is even coming from someone whose favorite color is purple. Even I was like, nah, lame, dude, get him out. Get him fucking
What's he
fourth
got,
place.
a stick? Get
But
out
it's
of
weird,
here.
yeah. I bet you Shredder's DLC, and put that in the predictions episode for Nickelodeon.
Oh man,
Let's bring on Yo Schiller to talk about the Nickelodeon predictions for DLC.
you can talk
Five
about that while you
Garfield's
talk
happening.
about how wrong the Smash Brothers predictions were.
Anyway, back on. Weird Darth Vader looking ass. Boots
Yeah,
Samus
he beats Samus up. Apparently, it takes away her powers that she had previously. They don't even let you play with the powers that you would have had this time, which is apparently something different. Because normally Metroid is like, look at your full kit, now say bye.
I wonder if that's because it's obviously been such a long time, and because
Yeah,
the
that's
kit is so
probably it.
drastically new in Dread, their choices were: do we have her fully kitted at the start, which means she has powers that she wouldn't have had in Metroid 4,
Yeah,
or do we start her with Metroid 4 moveset, and if none of those things are actually in Dread, are we just gonna make an entire new moveset and waste all that dev time for like not even like 20 minutes of gameplay? Like,
yeah.
I
That's-
will say this. It is nice of the devs. They start Samus with 15 missiles, so she doesn't lose her entire kit.
Yeah.
You at least get something extra besides your little pea shooter.
okay.
Which is nice. But anyhow, she gets beat up by Chozo Man and then wakes up in like the depths of the planet, and the person from the Galactic Federation tells her to get to the surface and back to her ship.
Fox?
It's about time you showed up, Fox.
I've always thought it was weird that
Slippy just
Nintendo
starts talking to her.
Yeah, I've always thought it's weird that Nintendo has two IPs that are very much based in space like that. And they're just like, yeah.
I mean, so was F-Zero.
Yeah, but that doesn't exist.
But-
It can't hurt me. It doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like,
Captain Falcon's a bounty hunter.
can't hurt me. He
races.
doesn't. Not real. He just play. He's in. Yeah, he's not even. He's a Mii costume in Mario Kart, and he's in Smash. That's all. That's all we know.
So yeah,
Hunter,
the
I'm
general
literally being
goal of
toxic.
Metroid Dread at the moment is get to the surface of the planet and back to your ship, and then, I imagine the next act will proceed from there.
Mhm.
And from there on, it's a non-linear 2D platformer, if we want to use words that won't send off the alarm in Ethan's brain.
What the Metroidvania?
Yeah. So you've got a general goal, and basically the way I approach all these kind of games is pick a direction and stick with it till you can't anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and then find something else.
See, that's always been my
Basically
problem.
how I do it too.
I think that's the only way to play these fucking video games. Because if you look at it and go and just look at the map, you'll do what I do, which is I have a mini panic attack because I see a map and I see like 6 different directions, and my brain doesn't work. Let me go and head bash the 5 incorrect ones until I find the 6th right one. I'm like, I need to know the right one so I'm not wasting my time, and that's when I'm like, fuck this, I'm done. You can't make me. But anyway, gameplay. So you obviously it's a platformer. It's a lot of puzzle solving. It's basically the whole idea is you progress the correct way. It's basically a maze of a game where you try and find the correct way, which will usually lead to an upgrade, which will allow you to go to paths that you originally thought were blocked walls or whatever that you can now keep going until you basically solve this big puzzle of a map. Is essentially what a Metroid is. And I'm sure there's bosses around the way.
There are bosses. I think I ran into the first actual boss just before I stopped.
Cool. And the Emmy robots aren't bosses. They are just in the world.
Yeah.
They're just nuisances.
Interesting. Because it was weird. Because I remember in the trailer, it kind of the way that they've kind of framed them is as if they were kind of like unstoppable forces where your only choice was to run. Is that not the case in the game?
There's a way to deal with them, but they're still threatening because basically it's like this limited. It's like this limited energy beam that Samus can only get in specific scenarios for each area.
Okay.
Like you have to kill a mini boss to get the one after the one. After the first time, I had to kill a mini boss to get it. And you have to pass through their territory in order to get to it too. So you're not you're not able to just waltz in, take the thing to kill them, and then go kill them before they can bother you at all.
Mm-hmm. No. So obviously Metroidvanias. There's 2 more things that I can think of, and then if you guys can think of anything else, I'll pass the baton to you guys, and you can host each other. But the 2 things that I can think of are map design and enemies, right? Kinds of enemies that you're facing, what there is to explore. Obviously, you've got the Emmy robots, but I mean just just general, your regular Goombas and shit. Your basic grunt enemies. So, how are you feeling about the map design? And obviously, it's very early days. We should say, launch day, very early impressions here. But how are you feeling about the map so far and the map design, map layout, art direction, all that shite? And then
I think. Oh, sorry, go on, Ethan.
No. I was just gonna shovel in the enemy thing, but we can separate that.
Well,
go on, Cal.
Just gonna say.
You've played the
map
game.
design.
I haven't.
Map design, I think it's fine. I have one huge gripe with a lot of the map's design, though, and that's that a lot of progression is hidden behind walls that just look normal, and there's no tell that they're destructible.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So
I ran into one of those shortly after getting the spider climb.
Hunter, have you gotten into the second section of the map? This little fire section?
I was there briefly.
Or the second area?
I opened the lava doors and started backtracking. I didn't, I wasn't there for very long.
So basically, when you arrive in the second section, the game gives you 2 doors. Each behind both doors is lava, which damages you over time because Samus's suit isn't lava proof yet.
You think after the fourth fucking stranded planet, you'd be like, right, next time, lava proof the suit.
Dude, this time the suit's not even cold proof.
Damn. Fucking downgrade. She was like,
This
I
is
really
like
want
the
that
worst
blue
suit she's
paint.
ever had.
I want that blue and white paint, but apparently that can't be fire and ice
originally
resistant.
she didn't need to have it cold proof. It was because she has like Metroid DNA in her now that it screws with her.
Wait, she has Metroid. Right, that's the thing. I don't know the story of Metroid. Dude.
Me either.
Does this link into Prime?
They explain it. They give you a little prologue in the beginning that kind of gives you a recap.
Please tell me it's a wall of text. Please tell me it's a wall of text.
Oh, it sure is.
Oh, I love walls of text. Dude. I love that. I love when they're like, "Don't worry, guys. The
They give you
story's friendly
pictures.
the story's friendly for newcomers." And then they give you a fucking video essay script, and it's like, "Read it on, dude." I'm like, "No, I'm good. Thank you, though."
Well, hey, dude, the last time they had Samus talk, everyone got upset.
I don't get
That's
that.
because
was it
her one dialogue was the baby,
Yeah,
and she couldn't say anything else.
let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, people... Like, I've seen people on Twitter saying, like, oh, the new animation work and stuff like that does more for Samus's character than any of the dialogue did. That any of the times that she spoke in thingy, what was it called? I can't remember what it was
Other
called.
M.
Other M.
Other M, that's it.
An
I tried to-
anagram for mother. Metroid Other M is an acronym for mom.
Ah, wow, there you go. But I don't understand. Yeah, I just think it was just that that was done terribly, not the fact that Samus can talk is a problem. I feel like
yeah,
people...
that's what I feel like the overall like feeling towards it is, because Samus has never been like canonically mute or anything. Like in the prologue for Super, she also is the one telling you all of that.
Yeah, she was the one giving the recap of 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's just always an interesting thing where it's like, I feel like until you have it where it works and people like it's good, people are gonna always be like, nah, don't do it. It's like it was with Zelda, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I was just thinking that.
everyone was like, Zelda, they have voice acting in Zelda? That's so weird. Whereas now, after playing Breath of the Wild, I started Skyward Sword and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, these games don't have fucking like voice acting. I'm like, this is cringe. I have to read? Oh. My monkey brain can't do this. This is like a paragraph of text. This is like 50 words. What the fuck?
You see, it's okay because in Skyward Sword specifically, you can give characters funny voices, like Roos is voiced by Gaston.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so map design, faux walls. I always hate this shit, right? I hate faux walls in video games where it's like, it's a wall, but not really. Like, I hate that shit.
It's just especially dumb because, like, coming off of the only Metroid game I played, Super Metroid, where it always had, like, a clear direction to point you in, faux walls just seem like a cop-out for puzzle solving.
Right, to me, it depends, right? If it's, like, integral, like, if you're telling me that, like, the only solution to getting through the maze, like the main story, is to hit a random fucking wall and that wall breaks and you have no idea, then yeah, it's bullshit. If it's like something like, oh, you break the wall and there's some money or a chest or something, you know, like something optional,
like
I'm fine with that.
To be dozens of upgrades that are like just more missiles, more health that are hidden behind
like if it was like a heart canister or something, like a heart piece or something, I'll be like, yeah, that's fair enough, whatever. But if it's like main progression
is hidden behind a faux wall, and even to like go off of that with Super Metroid, they gave you an item at one point in the game called the X-ray scope, which lets you see the fake walls.
Yeah.
Is that not in this game? Is that like confirmed not in this game?
I haven't found it yet.
Well, it was pretty late in the Super anyway.
Maybe it's here. Maybe it is in the game. Guess what?
I didn't like the X-ray scope that much because you have to stop and like look around, and that's annoying.
Yeah, the X-ray scope is kind of useless. But
if I was to do it nowadays, I'd have it like be like a ping, where you like press the, like as you're running or whatever, you like tap in the stick or whatever, and like a little circle radiates out of Samus, and then it like gives you a little reaction or something. That's probably what I would do.
That actually brings me to a couple of things that are nice about the game, though. A few modern sensibilities.
Go for it.
For ME sections and bosses, you don't have to deal with being sent back to your last save station. It's just you're sent back to right before you entered the
That's
nice.
a good
zone,
feature.
so to speak, which is very nice because Emmys are insta kills unless you
Yes.
can figure out whatever the counter timing is, and I've still not
It's
been able to do that yet.
Tragic. I'm glad I'm not the only one struggling.
And same goes with the bosses. I've been killed by the one a couple of times, and it just sent me out to right before the room. That's nice that I don't have to run from the checkpoint back there. Any other time you die, you seem to be sent back to whatever your last save station interaction was.
Yeah.
No, that's nice. Is there any other quality of life things that you feel like make it a more of a modern experience compared to, like I say, the older titles? Because they're all old now at this point.
I can't
Wall jumping
remember.
is easy as hell.
It is way easier. Wall jumping was something I could not do consistently in Super Metroid because you had to like jump towards the wall and then pull the stick away and jump again. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And
This time
this
you
is
just jump
bouncy
Samus
bounce.
at the wall and you can bounce off like Mario.
Yeah, like any
It's
other.
so much more streamlined.
Nice.
I can't remember if or if this may have been something that the other games have done since, but the map will blink if there's still something for you to find. It's similar to how like Resident Evil's map in the remakes will change colors when you've collected everything.
I like that.
Super-
yeah.
Super Metroid didn't do that.
That's nice. I like that.
They just had like a little white dot on the map where an item would be, and then it never went away.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because 1994
Yeah.
/ 93.
So yeah, it helps you for if you're trying to narrow down where your collectibles are, if you're going for like 100%.
Is there any difficulty options in this game, or is it just the straight out?
There is no
I'm pretty
difficulty.
sure I just selected the start game and
Yeah.
no difficulty.
Okay.
There's no difficulty option, and there's also no button remapping either, which I thought was really dumb.
Yeah.
Since, again, Super Metroid had that.
It's dumb, but I will also give Nintendo the benefit of the doubt that they do have a system-wide button remapping feature in the settings menu. So even though it won't change the controls in the thing, I'll give them the credit that if they're gonna do if they don't put it in a first-party game, they made the effort to do a system-wide button remap. So. And that shit isn't just like you can like even change the analog sticks and everything. So I'll give them a fair pass on that. That they probably were like, we don't need to add this. We did this in the system. But pet peeve is when they do shit like that. It'll still say press the A button to do it, and I'm like, I've mapped it to R. This is like there's still a little part of me that'll be like, no, wrong. So
every time they tell me to push X in that game, I'm like, wait, not PlayStation.
Yeah, not yeah. But no. So I'm surprised there's no difficulty options. I think that just from like an accessibility point of view, I feel like that would have been nice. Not necessarily. Just
You'd
because
think
I'd
with
want
the
to
way
play
that
on easy
Nintendo
mode.
plays like the rest of their games now, they'd at least have you like with the die enough times and you get the option to be Super Samus or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just
Hunter,
some kind of accessibility.
I don't know how you've been feeling about the beginning, but honestly, I've been kind of struggling through this opening bit. I just feel really defenseless. Like Samus just feels super squishy.
The only thing that's killed me so far have been Emmys and the one boss I made it to, so I've been doing okay.
Yeah, but
I like got killed by the environment because I decided I was gonna see how far I could get through the ice area to see if I could get a thing before I died.
Yeah, but to be fair, Kyle Hunter's like played like 6 million of these fucking games, so it's like
I've only played like 5.
that's like 5 more than I care to play. So but no,
I've played Super Metroid and Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, I've played those.
You've played
Hollow
the
Knight,
castle,
and Strider.
and
I've played the Metroid and the
played
Vania.
the Metroid and the Vania. Yeah, exactly.
The two most popular entries in each franchise.
Yeah. Gosh.
I'm a normie gamer, what can I say?
It does kind of annoy me. The term Metroidvania does kind of annoy me because it does what it says on the tin, right? You can look at Metroid and you can look at Castlevania and go, it's one of them. But it still annoys me.
Metroid predates Castlevania by like several years is the thing that's always got me about that.
Yeah, or it's just
Yeah.
like I don't like describing games by going, look at this one that might not even be the first one, it was just a popular one. Like it's like roguelite. It's like what does that
Souls-like.
fucking mean? Like yeah.
It's like
There was a game that called Rogue.
Yeah,
that
I
was all,
know. That's
like,
why I
goes
said
back to
rogue.
that,
Yeah,
but-
that's why I said roguelike. Also, I hate roguelike and roguelite. I hate that. I hate
those are dumb terms.
I hate that you have to like you have to wait till the end syllable of the word to know the term to know which one it
It's
is.
okay.
One
They've
or the
all
other.
become. They're all but interchangeable now. Anyway, most people refer to them.
Yeah, it's a roguelite, and Metroidvania, and it's real fun.
No one cares about the difference.
Yeah. So obviously we've talked about character control. We've talked about animation. We've talked about enemies anyway. I assume most of the other enemies are just like your standard kind of space, kind of weird things.
Yeah,
right?
those little aliens that are around to annoy you. Some of them like to trigger off your counter more often. Some
No
of them are-
Metroids yet, or Metroid, or whatever, or
Not yet.
Canonically, they're extinct. So
what is it,
who knows if it'll.
Why did they make a fifth one then?
Why is it still called Metroid?
Why is it still called Metroid? It should be called Notroid. Am I right, gamers? Rise up.
Metroid int.
Yeah. Gontroid.
Gontroid.
Notroid.
Yeah. Anyway, I can't. Have I missed anything? We've. To be fair, for a first impressions, guys, that's like one of the most in-depth.
After
ones
only
we've
playing
done.
it today.
Yeah. That's why we should do this more often.
Yeah.
Have we missed anything?
One tiny gripe.
Atmospherically, it's still great in
Mm.
my opinion. Like every time the Emmys are around, their sound design and all that, really good at making me tense.
Yep. Terrifying.
Yeah, and I've got to give Nintendo props. It's been a weird year for Nintendo. I feel like we've said that every year since 2017. It's been a weird year for Nintendo. Some might say this is like a quiet year for Nintendo. Because next year is Normie year, where you get Breath of the Wild, probably, Splatoon 3 and all that, like all the Normie shit, right? I do like that they've kind of gone back to some like stuff like 2D Metroid and shit like that. I do like that they are still providing that kind of variety that Nintendo is very much known for. Because for a while I thought, oh god, is this our future now? Just Mario sports games and fucking
Yeah.
whatever thing
I
the
do
Splatoon Animal
appreciate
Crossing
it
team
that
makes.
they're doing that because they have to know that, like, even if this does do better than the series has before, it's still not going to do like the best. So it's kind of just doing
Yeah.
it because it's part of. It's just something that people like.
Yeah, like I saw some really snarky comments on Twitter about how like it was like, what it's gonna do terribly anyway. Not like Xenoblade didn't even sell 3 million. I'm like, do you know how fucking powerful it is the fact that Nintendo got a game like Xenoblade to like 2.5 million units? Or even if Metroid gets close to 3 million units, any other fucking developer or publisher would be proud and be like, that's an achievement. Like
Yeah.
passing 1 million copies is a big deal. Never mind like 2 or 3 million. I'm sure Metroid is gonna do fine.
Like stop using it in the same scope of like their really big hitters where a lot of Nintendo's best financial performers do better than multi-platform games. Chill
Yeah,
out.
they're
Some of
also,
them can
like-
afford to be a little less on the returns.
Yeah, and fucking Nintendo's sales with Nintendo do not equal badge of quality.
Yeah.
Never. You look at the top Nintendo games and it's like, no, that most of the
2D
time,
Mario sells better than 3D Mario, and that's
Yeah.
been the same since the DS.
well, top games are like fucking like you'll have top games like Nintendogs or shit like Super Mario
Nintendogs.
Party, which isn't even a good Mario Party game, will be in the top 10. Like sales does not
Oh,
equal
not for
quality,
much
but
longer.
I 100% believe this will be the best selling 2D Metroid game. I think it'll be the best selling Metroid game, period, to be honest.
Yeah, like
Um,
until Prime 4 comes out, I imagine Prime 4 will probably beat it out because I feel like that probably
'cause it's
casts a
3D,
wider
yeah.
appeal.
Mhm.
It'll get the more normie audience, probably.
Yeah.
So I guess last thing we have to say, as we always do, is would you recommend it from your little time playing it so far?
I sure would, especially if you like these kind of games. It very much feels like there's something to offer in the wake of some people were wondering if Metroid could still feel like it belongs after other games like Hollow Knight and whatnot have come out and kind of expanded upon the genre in a way. And I feel like so far I could say yes.
Kyle?
I would say if you have Nintendo Switch Online, go play Super Metroid and see if you like Metroid, see if you like that style of gameplay, and then decide if you think Dread is worth it in your eyes.
There you go. Easy enough. Well, there you go. There's our first impressions for Metroid Dread. Let us know if you guys have been playing it and how you've been feeling about it so far. I can't contain my excitement for in 3 weeks' time when I get my copy. And you know what?
Well, in 3 weeks' time, we'll be playing Mario Party.
Yeah, exactly. But while I contain my excitement, I'll pass ourselves over to Ethan of the future because we're going to go and talk about Monkey Ball or whatever. Banana Blitz, Scramble, whatever it's called. Banana Mania.
Bimblo.
I think it's Banana Mania. We're going to go talk about Monkey Ball with Gary. And then when we come back, we will talk about Bluepoint acquisition and all that stuff. So yeah, over to you, Ethan. We're back. We're here with Gary. Hey, Gary. How you doing?
Hey, it's been a while since I've been on this channel, and I mean...
It's the same, literally look at our guest list, it's the same with all the fucking guests, dude. It's like...
Yeah, I just don't, appear too much.
Kane's shown up, once this year. It's not how shit have we been with guests, legit, this year?
I mean...
There are people that have been like, yeah, can't wait to come back, and we act as if we're too busy for you. Cheers, we're too busy. Me, Kyle, and Hunt to talk about PS2 again. Let's go. But no, welcome back to the show, Gary. Hope you've been doing all right.
Yeah, I've been well. Life has been hectic. As you guys, I think most of you follow me on Twitter, you know that I'm going to be moving soon.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so that's going to be different, and it's going to be out of London. It's going to, looking towards Newcastle at this rate.
Yeah, well, you see, you live in London, so you like it, but everyone outside of London knows that we fucking hate it, so don't worry.
London's not a very good place. So.
Oh, no, everywhere's a shithole in the UK, but it's all good, because we just complain
I'm
about
here
it
to talk about Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, which has been out, sort of for more than a week if you bought the pre-order, or it was released on October 5th.
Did they do early access for fucking Monkey Game?
Yes, they did early access. It was... I went with the early access.
Get the digital deluxe edition to get 3 days early access
I had to get
fucking
it on PS...
Monkey Ball.
I got it on PS4, and I'll talk about that later.
Okay, cool. So I guess the first question is, for those people that don't know, including myself, I guess, because I've never really fun. What is Monkey Ball, essentially?
Monkey Ball is a 3D marble game, essentially, where it's you take your ball, you use the stick to just move your ball to the sort of end of the level. And Banana Mania is a culmination of Super Monkey Ball 1 and Super Monkey Ball 2 in the same package. It also includes the levels from Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, which is, it's essentially an extension which Deluxe combines both games together, while Banana Mania has both of them, but they're sort of in their separate entities. They are split into their different modes, if you want to call it that.
Not convoluted in the slightest, but yeah, okay, I think it makes sense. So yeah, you got both games, and then the extra levels that they bundled when they did a collection of 1 and 2 together.
Yeah, 1 and 2 together in the Deluxe game.
Yeah, and there you go. And it's basically a very old game from the boomer years of the PS2. I don't think anyone mentioned
it's a game, the original 2, Monkey Ball 1
PS2 and GameCube, yeah.
PS2 is only for Deluxe. The others are on GameCube, and then, Deluxe also had an Xbox release.
Yeah, because I don't know about you two, Island Hunter. I didn't play Monkey Ball.
Neither have I. I
never touched one.
Here
this
and
is
there,
one of these things where I just saw it on Twitch or on the internet at one point, and I was like, God, you kids had some wild times. I was playing normal games, and here you guys were playing fucking Monkey Golf or whatever.
Normal games like Crazy Frog Racer.
Monkey Golf's fun, man.
It's always been a game that looked. It's always been a game that looked super interesting and super fun to play and get good at, but I've just never been able to play it.
Yeah,
looking at it.
It's definitely a game where I'd say Banana Mania is the best entry point to the series right now, because you get Monkey Ball 1, 2, and the deluxe levels.
What were you saying, Hunter?
Oh, I was saying, looking at it just from like kind of glancing at the what you're doing, and it reminded me of that one game that Sam would play sometimes.
Oh,
Where he,
Marble
like,
It Up.
no, he played as like a rock or something, trying to
Oh,
roll
Rock of
ages.
Ages.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, Sam's
It
played
has
many a rock game.
aspects of that, so yeah.
But yeah, what was I trying to say? Oh yeah, bouncing off your thing, Kyle, is Monkey Ball's always been a thing to me where I'm like, I'm sure it's, to me, it's like, it looks really interesting at a high level when people know what they're doing. And they're doing these fucking 360 no scopes off the top of fucking Rust and landing it in the goal and fucking going, oh, that was easy. Or it's like, oh, I'm too fucking slow, I did it wrong. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. And then it looks interesting from a first-person perspective of trying to be like, how do I figure it out? It's that middle ground that's always put me off Monkey Ball, where it's like, you're good enough to know what you're doing, but you're also bad enough to not be doing trick shots, where I'm like, I'm thinking like that middle ground's always been the rough part to me, where I'm like, I don't know, that seems like the boring part, because it's like, you've either got to get good or put the game away at that point.
I would say
not a
like
get good
I'm in
person.
the upper section of that middle. Like for my skill level in Monkey Ball, I'm at the upper section of that sort of middle, as you've mentioned, where it's like I know a lot of the tricks, and I will just mention most of them. They do work in Banana Mania, but you have to do them in different ways.
So Banana Mania is essentially a full-blown remake.
Yes, it is a full-blown remake where they, from what I understand, they redid every single stage. Some of them are different. They redid the physics, and that is one of the most contentious talking points with this game right now.
It's always the contention point, dude. It's always the fucking contention.
They also redid all the mini games, but 2 of the mini games basically don't work right now because of the physics changes.
That sounds like a remaster.
Sounds like a Square Enix release.
Square Enix release.
So I'm trying to think. Questions. We had questions. Kyle, Hunter, what were the questions? I can't see them.
You mentioned mini games. What other kind of modes do you have besides?
With how the game's divided up into modes, you have the Super Monkey Ball 1 mode, which lets you play through the Super Monkey Ball 1 challenge modes, where you basically choose your difficulty, you get given a set amount of stages, and in Monkey Ball 1, if you could clear all of the stages in the difficulty without falling off a single time, you unlock the extra stages. They have the beginner, advanced, expert, and master stages in this game for Super Monkey Ball 1, but they changed it up where the live system is entirely removed. You can fall off as many times as you want. You can just go at your own pace. It's really, really nice. And it adds the extra levels from those difficulties to the end. So beginner, which is 10 stages, becomes 13. Advanced, which is 30, becomes 35. And expert, which is 50, becomes 60. The master and as you clear the difficulties, you unlock the later ones. So you have to clear beginner to unlock advanced, advanced to unlock expert, and expert to unlock master.
So it sounds like it's a lot of quality of life kind of stuff. It's
yeah,
like
so much quality of life has gone into this game.
Trying to just make it easier for new players to get into it.
Yeah. Also, there are like assist options that exist where you can give yourself double the amount of time to complete the stage, which I will say, for sort of an accessibility, that is incredibly useful, because some stages can get really rough and some can time pressure you. And you can also activate a slow-mo mode where when you're going across these, like, I guess in the community they're called wires, where it's like a really, really thin path, you can activate slow-mo to progress through there at your own pace and with a bit more precision.
That's actually really nice to hear, because just being a passive observer of Monkey Ball, it's always looked super unwieldy when you're trying to learn it.
The thin wires, it is the hardest part of Monkey Ball, in my opinion.
It always seems to be like trying to ride a bike, where it just seems like it's like those beginner stages of learning to ride a bike, where it's like you seem to be fucking tumbling everywhere, and you're like, oh fuck. So any help to that would probably be pretty beneficial, at least for beginners or people that need it for accessibility
once you complete
reasons.
the master difficulty in the Monkey Ball 1 mode, you unlock what's called the marathon mode, where you play through all of the difficulties back to back, and any duplicate stages that exist, and I believe there's 9 of them that get pulled out, they are removed. So you're playing through every single stage from that single game back to back with no duplicates, and it's a really, really cool mode. Super Monkey Ball 2 has the Super Monkey Ball 2 story mode, divided into its 10 worlds.
Story mode? Is Monkey Ball?
Yeah.
What kind of story they tell
Like,
you?
but what they did is
One
they
that's
took
absolutely bananas.
I don't know what
They
kind of
took
story
the-
did Ape Escape tell.
True, Ape Escape's a really cool monkey game. You should also check that one out.
No, for someone that's been told that they have a
Monkey.
monkey brain, I haven't played many monkey games, to be
Yeah.
honest. I haven't played Ape
Um,
Escape either.
Yo, this sounds like a 9x9 or a 3x3.
3x3
the
monkey
story
games.
mode unfortunately has had its cutscenes removed. The cutscenes were very, very
It's not
charming.
much of a story mode, then, is it?
And they turned like the cutscenes into like 10 to 15-second like anime kind of segments, or like kind of anime
Yeah,
where it
weeb
just like
shit.
pops up on the screen, and
like
it
Mortal
is a
Kombat
downgrade.
endings.
Like the cutscenes from the original Super Monkey Ball 2 were much better.
When you say like anime shit, do you mean like comic book, like kind of like artwork?
Yeah,
kind
it
of
has like a
passing?
comic book style to it.
Oh,
I
they
guess.
did the Black Ops 4 Zombies
Scarlet
cutscenes
Nexus.
budget
Yeah,
cut thing.
as I say-
Nice, my favorite.
As I personally say, I think it's a downgrade that they got rid of the cutscenes, because the cutscenes in Monkey Ball 2 were so funny, and you even miss the most important bit at the end of every single world, being EE Poo. Yes, you miss the EE Poo segment.
That
Where they
like, is
cast
that
the
like
magic-
a meme? Is that like a
No,
fucking
no, they
Monkey
cast
Ball
like a
meme?
magical spell at the end of every single world, and it's gone. Like it's really just gone, and it's upsetting. And as I said, the story mode, it goes over 10 worlds, and the only world to really have a unique state to have unique stages is world 10, as all the other world stages can be played in the challenge mode. Super Monkey Ball 2 has its challenge mode, the same as Super Monkey Ball 1, except all the extra stages in each difficulty are 10 stages instead of increasing, like, as I said, in beginner you had 3 extra in Monkey Ball 1, it's 10 here. So beginner's 20, advanced is 40, expert is 60, and master also has extra stages to give you 20 master stages. Once you've beaten master, you can play the marathon mode where you play all 140 stages back to back.
So
There
besides like some quality of life changes, oh, I'm sorry, did you still have stuff to talk about?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna. Besides like some quality of life changes, I was wondering what else really is there with this game, or is it just like a one-to-one remake?
As I mentioned, the new physics, they are weird to get used to. I'm not going to say they're inferior. I'm not going to say they're better.
They're just different.
They are different, and some of the stages really do not function too well with the new physics, as they required what are called diagonal inputs, where you'd like hold up, like up left or up right, sort of like you two probably know, but like Crash 2, where it's like your up diagonal on the D-pad is really strong because it hits like the corner.
Analog player, baby. Don't know that shit at all.
Yeah. But like of an analog, you have like less strength. What they ended up doing is they changed the dead zone on the controller to fit to a circle instead of a square. So your upright is only about 70% of the strength as it would be in the original games, which really causes problems.
Fair enough.
And for the people that like the later Monkey Ball games, yes, you can purchase the ability to jump. And this is
That's not on the originals.
no,
That's
the
not.
original like collection of Deluxe or like Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2 do not have a jump button. With Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz on the Wii, that was just sitting right next to me, and I was like,
What
I'm
a
gonna-
flex, just showing the Skyward Sword Wiimote.
Yeah. It
It's
doesn't
like
have
me bringing
batteries
out my
in it.
copy of Torna every time Kyle mentions Xenoblade.
With the introduction of Banana Blitz, they introduced a jump button. You can activate the jump feature in Banana Mania, and it works as you expect. However, it will disable online leaderboards. So if you want to compete in them, you have to compete without the jump button.
Interesting.
So obviously you mentioned earlier that there are mini games in the collection as well as the main games of 1, 2, and the extra levels from
Deluxe. Yeah.
So what are the mini games? Are they like, my picture here is just like side shit that doesn't really matter? Is that the kind of idea behind it?
The mini games are more for like you bring your friends over and just mess around in the mini games for fun. You have a race where it's just like you blitz your monkey around the course as fast as you can. It has like items as well, so it's kind of like you do have a Mario Kart thing. Yeah, kind of, but like the items aren't as deep and technical.
It's
I mean, they aren't in Mario Kart either, dude.
Yeah, but like they're a bit of fun. Monkey Target, which does not work in this version. The new physics just completely screwed with it, and it's very unplayable. It's not worth putting effort in. The other mini game that doesn't work, and it is really upsetting that it doesn't work, is Monkey Baseball. Monkey Baseball and Super Monkey
I love
Ball
how
2.
they just add fucking monkey in front of it and be like, "We're done, guys. We got the name."
Yeah. Basically, in Banana Mania, baseball does not work.
Okay.
About 80% of hits that you do while swinging the bat do not go where they should be, and most of the time you can't even hit far enough to progress a game. I was watching someone play through baseball because I haven't put too much into it myself, but when you play the tournament mode in the game, which is required for a mission, which the game has also added, where it like adds in a bit of challenge to change up gameplay, I guess. And you play 3 innings where it's like you have player 1 go, player 2, player 1, player 2, player 1, player 2. The high scorer wins. They went to inning 6 because no one could score, as the baseball game is broken. It is really, really bad.
My favorite of the Wii Sports.
Yeah, all the other
said like, no one ever.
All the other mini games generally work as they were. There are changes though across the board, and yeah, it's not great for the mini games. I'll just say that. But the main game stuff is fun.
So I have 2 final questions before we get to like the concluding part, right? So my first question is more of a meme question. Is you've obviously got characters and costumes. How long does it take to get Kiryu in a fucking Monkey Ball? That's what I want to know. That's the real question. Time to Kiryu.
So unlocking Kiryu, you can legitimately do this in less than 10 minutes.
Okay, good. Now we're talking about the important shit.
If you want to play as B, again, like unlocking a character, like an alternate character or like some skins, you can do that in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, if you wanted to.
Okay, cool. That's good to know that they don't just.
It might take you like 20-30 minutes, but if you're really trying, you can probably get in under 5.
I really hope they keep doing the DLC for that shit, dude. Because honestly, the fucking who's in the ball shit from like whatever Gamescom or whatever was so dumb. I was like, I'm in.
You've seen me meme about that, haven't you? As well, it's like, getting a character in a Monkey Ball is more important than Smash right now.
I mean, Smash is done, so who gives a shit about Smash? So, second to last question, I guess, penultimate question is: do you have any criticisms, any critiques, any flaws that you found in the game, things you don't like?
As I'll mention again, the sort of physics and diagonals in the game, they need fixing. They really, really do. As I said, like several stages are just really unpleasant with the new physics.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see them add a couple more modes into the game. I'll bring this game up again, Deluxe. Super Monkey Ball Deluxe has its challenge mode, but it has like an extension of the beginner difficulty, which bundles Super Monkey Ball 1 and Super Monkey Ball 2's beginner difficulty together in a single playlist. Added 20 more stages to the beginner difficulty for its 40 stage base beginner difficulty, And then it added the extra stages from Monkey Ball 1 and 2, the 13 that exist in the extra stages, and added another 7 in that. So you have a 60 stage beginner difficulty. They could do that for all four of the difficulties, being advanced, which would be 70 stages plus 20, expert, which would be 100 stages plus 20, and master, which would be 20 stages plus 10, because Monkey Ball 1 doesn't have extras there. And then final is the ultimate mode, which puts all of these levels back to back, the entire challenge mode from both games in a single playlist.
Literally the Sado mode. Literally,
I
I'm
mean-
depressed and I've got 9 hours. Dude. Like,
I mean, like something like that would be really, really fun if you just wanted to chill to every single level in the game back to back. I guess, you know, you can sort of go through that if you wish. I'd like to see more additions to the additional modes that they put in, which I hadn't talked about, which is the Golden Banana mode. It's just they've picked 10 stages and they've put a bunch of bananas around, and your objective is to just collect all the bananas instead of just go straight to the goal. It's a cool mode. I like the idea.
Mhm.
So you can get a little bit more exploration in, and they tend to use maze levels. So for those that hate the stage Chaos from Deluxe, yeah, expect to see Chaos in there. It's arguably one of the worst stages in Monkey Ball. You have the Dark Banana mode. Again, I feel like you could add more stages to this. It is
literally just fucking bananas. Literally, it's
Yeah.
just
the Dark Banana mode is you have to reach the goal of the level without touching a single banana, and they have bananas in probably some of the worst places you could think to make the stage harder.
I don't know.
They did do the original. Something that I like is the original stage mode, where quite a lot of the stages in this game got nerfed because they were too difficult. One which I mean a lot of players would agree with, is from Super Monkey Ball 1 Expert 7. It is arguably the hardest stage in the Expert difficulty, and should have even been considered for the Master mode, but Master has an even harder one than that. That got a fairly big nerf, and it's very beatable. The original stage mode takes all these nerfed levels, puts them in their original state for the most part, and essentially gives you unplayable controls on stages that are so hard that they are really difficult to beat now.
Mhm.
You do have the DX mode, which just puts all the deluxe exclusive levels. This game is good, but do not play the PS2 version. The loading screens are horrible. The DX mode, it just puts all the deluxe levels back to back. I think it's 46, and I mean there are some good levels in the deluxe mode and some bad levels in the deluxe mode. One mode that I'd love to see are stages that have animation and such, like moving parts to them, being played at double time, where you can make a stage just ridiculously hard for no apparent reason by just making all the animation parts of the stage play at like double speed or something. And I'll say it again, they need to fix these physics. They are not very fun to play with at like a higher level. And there's not too much that I can really top on that. Like, it is a good game. I'd say if you've never played Monkey Ball before, definitely have a look at the package. It is a very, very nice package, especially when I would say it is worth getting it over this game, the PS2 version of Deluxe.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's just really fun, and like the music is a really, really, really nice improvement, I'd say. While the original songs are available if you got the digital deluxe version, the
Give me
music
that money, dude. Give me
You
that
have
money.
to
Yeah.
deluxe edition for the
It's
original
not our
music.
game.
For the original music and the original skin monkeys, like the GameCube models, the music is, I think a lot of it is actually done by Hyper Potions, who, for those that don't know, did Sonic Mania music. they really just the new music is really, really good, especially World 6, which the World 6 music being Boiling Pot, people love that one. And I would also say World 10's Dr. Bad Moon bass theme is really, really good and a massive improvement over the original from Monkey Ball 2.
Right then. I think that's everything. So, thank you, Gary, for showing up and for talking everything about Banana Mania, because we didn't have a chance to cover it. So thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate
Anytime. If there's any games that I'm playing, I'll let you guys know. And if I want to be covering it,
Let
if
us
you
know.
want me on, I'll just be there.
And now, to throw myself back to the past, where we continue to talk about Bluepoint, I believe. But yeah, back to me in the past. And we're back. Wow. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Back in the past, or is it the future? Is it the present? Who knows? Wibbly wobbly, dude. Who knows where
Time's a
we're
flat
at?
circle.
It is. It's true. I don't know where the fuck we are, but hey, we're living. So, Hunter, you wanted to quickly bring up Bluepoint.
Ah, yes. Bluepoint got acquired last week.
Oh, biggest shock of the fucking century.
Yeah.
Didn't see that one coming.
Since, it took them forever to make it official. I think the bigger shock is how long that took for them to be like, yeah, we got them.
I think they did it on purpose, to be honest. I think they acquired them a while ago, and they were just like, nah, people know this is coming. We're just gonna make them wait. Gonna make them sit and think about what they've done.
And so the thing that they were talking about, and I should have pulled this up beforehand, but I didn't. I'm bad at this. Sorry. Mentioned about how they're going to be doing original content. They're not remaking something this time. So, maybe
it's
those
all in the
Metal Gears...
words, dude. We'll get into it. Original content. Why the fuck? Just say game. If it's a new game, just say game.
Yeah.
Ah, dude, they're making books.
Yo, books, dude.
Visual novels.
Reading.
So yeah, what that reads to me.
Zelda.
What that reads to me like is that they're going to be using one of PlayStation's IPs and doing their own thing with it.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be fun to be like, hey, this is what I think they should do, and this is why it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could take plenty of guesses. I know what it is. If they're making something, I know what it is.
Yeah.
I can tell you, it's fucking Bloodborne. If they're making something, it's Bloodborne. There you go. There's your answer. They just made Demon Souls. They're probably... Right. Here's my thing. From Software, obviously, good at what they do. Shit performance of their video games in terms of how they run on the consoles. They're ass, like literally. I think, for better or for worse, I think Bluepoint really showed from off in a way where they were like, look, we made your game look really pretty and have it run really well. And I'm sure From are like, damn it, they did a really good job. But yeah, after doing that, there's only one franchise to me that I can see them using, and because I don't think From's too busy with Elden Ring, and I don't see them going back to Bloodborne for a while at least. I 100%, because PlayStation owns that IP, if they were going to put Bluepoint on anything, it'd be Bloodborne. Now, whether it's a Bloodborne expanded, where it's a remake of Bloodborne with new shit in it, or if it's Bloodborne 2, Electric Boogaloo, I'll let you decide. What if Bluepoint was working on Bloodborne, Hunter? What would you think they'd be working on?
I would like to believe that they just go all in on a Bloodborne 2. Even though I'm not really sure what that would look like, since the story of Bloodborne doesn't exactly leave much to be followed upon.
Did the story of Dark Souls have anything to follow on? I don't think.
I don't know yet. I haven't played them.
I think I could be wrong, and hey, Eamon, I hope you're listening, because you'll tell me in the comment section if I'm right or wrong. But I believe that all the Dark Souls games take place in different worlds.
Yeah. So if that was the route they went with a Bloodborne 2, that would be cool. Just give me another cool kind of Victorian goth game, and I will salivate at the thought.
Well, you see, there's plenty of gothic eras, right? That they could take from. They could take from. Obviously, it was kind of a mishmash of different kind of architectures and stuff like that, but they could go all in on one of them. Like they very much
For
a lot
sure.
of it was very much like the like you say, like kind of English kind of Gothic architecture, dude. But they could go more into like the weirder shit. They could go more into the European side. Like go full on like
I like how you said European as if English isn't part of Europe.
we're like an island, dude. We're like an island. You know, Brexit guy.
But yeah, like, yeah. So if they just create another similar world that feels unique in its own ways, that would be cool. If they can find another wacky cosmic horror story to tell, that'd be great. I mean, as far as like Lovecraftian influences, there's a whole catalog of things to pick from.
Oh yeah, plenty of fucked up shit from there.
Yeah,
Take your pick.
yeah, please do. It'll be a fun time.
But no, because it's like I think new content is such a fucking weird term to use. Like I've never heard. It's one of those things where, like we said earlier, you know, we live in a fucking industry where people are like roguelite, Metroidvania, fucking whatever, like all these kind of weird terms. But we've never heard anyone use fucking new content. We all sit there and go, "What the fuck does that mean? New content?" I feel like it's a very weird one. I don't know. What do you think, Hunter? What if it wasn't Bloodborne? What else do you think they could be working on?
So my whole thought process, which, you know, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stray away from, oh, it's probably just an Uncharted because that's depressing.
It could be Uncharted.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So what I think would make a lot of sense for them to do is something that they could make their own that would still get people who, you know, have played a PlayStation for years to maybe
Got
perk
it.
their ears up.
Uncarted.
Yeah.
Finally.
So my pick would have been, and not necessarily that I think it would happen, but something that I think would make sense for them to do, make a Siphon Filter game.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, because Siphon Filter is kind of in the same vein as like a Metal Gear Solid, you know, action spy thriller kind of thing. And there's kind of a gap in that market right now. Sony Bend has been put on Uncharted Naughty Dog understudy duty.
Well, no, now they're free again. They got taken out of gamer jail for a bit. They were like, okay,
well,
okay, we're gonna forgive you. You still can't make Days Gone 2, but we're gonna you can stop making Uncharted, whatever.
Yeah, so Sony Bend's doing their own thing. They seem to have left Siphon Filter behind, and it's been long enough since the last one. The last one was on like the PSP in like 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So it leaves a lot of room for them to make their own thing with it. And Siphon Filter is also not, I don't think people are going to come out of the woodwork for them changing something and like ruining their beloved series with
It's PlayStation fans.
game.
They are going to do that.
I have not met someone who has claimed that Siphon Filter is their favorite PlayStation game.
They won't until it's back. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like everyone was like, I can't wait for a new Sly game. Can't wait for a new Sly game. And then as soon as Sly 4 they went out, they were like, right, time to start beating the shit out of Sanzaru games.
No, not like that.
That's why I can't wait for the Sly 5 inevitable reveal where they're like, I don't want that. Gets the baseball bat out again. Try again in another 12 years. Like, yeah. But no, I don't know. Like, Siphon Filter is it's one of those game franchises where I literally know fuck all. Like, I have heard the name Siphon Filter, but Kyle's going to Google and typing Siphon Filter right now to get an idea of what it is.
Nope.
Yeah, I only have the general
Cannot
idea
prove that.
of what it was back in the day. The only thing I can specifically remember about the gameplay is the taser that could just ignite people if you left it in them for too long.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's all about thinking about those franchises that are like, what franchises do Sony have that they technically don't want to let go of? They don't want to die. They don't want it to die, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, there's not many franchises because like Siphon Filter, they've had no eagerness. I mean, if they've already gone back to the Sly Cooper hole, then fuck me. They don't care about Siphon Filter, dude. There are a couple of franchises though that I'm surprised that there are a couple of franchises that sit in Sony's IP library where I sit there and I'm like, okay, if you're bringing back Sly again, if you're bringing back Twisted Metal and all this shit, there are a couple of franchises that sit there and I'm like, Why are you still sitting on those? One of them's Jack. As much as I hate to fucking say it, like, why haven't they tried Jack again with a different studio? Why do they keep doing the whole Naughty Dog doesn't want to make a Jack game? Like, well, it hasn't stopped you getting other people to make games before. I don't think that's a Bluepoint kind of project, but more likely than Sly. Well, the current rumor is Sly's being made here in the UK because, of course, it is. From what I believe, it's Sumo Digital that's making it.
Kyle, knock on the closet and ask your buddy Kevin.
Yeah, ask Kevin. Yo, Kevin, do you know?
If that's confirmed.
Yeah. So that seems more like more of an outsourcing kind of game. But I'm surprised they haven't done anything with Jack. Uncharted is an interesting one where I could 100% see them doing an Uncharted game.
Yeah, but it's interesting in the sense that they might do it, but also it's like the most boring answer.
I still think it's too early. I still think it's too early to bring Uncharted back, to be honest. I feel like they will bring Uncharted back during the PS5 generation. I do think. But I think that Uncharted will be, if they do it, and please, for the love of God, do not bring it back this early. I do think Uncharted will show up. I think it'll be an end of the generation kind of thing. A bit like how Final Fantasy VII Remake tail-ended the PS4 and most of the entries will come out on PS5. I think they will start the new Uncharted trilogy off on PS5 and then carry it on into PS6 land.
That would make sense.
And I mean, I feel like, obviously, if you've played Uncharted 4, you kind of know the direction that they will probably end up taking with that. And to be fair, I am interested in seeing that kind of progression eventually, but I still think it's too early. It's been like, what, 6 years, 7 years? It's not even been 7 years. It's been like fucking 5.
Yeah, it's only
too
been
early.
5. It came out in 2016.
It's been 4 if you count Lost Legacy, because that was 2017. Yeah, it's way too early. I'm trying to think. Can you think of any other franchises, Kyle? I'm trying to think. I had one. But I also didn't. It was another example of one that I don't think. Oh, I've got 2. Go on, Kyle.
In the little interim, when you said Kyle's Googling something,
It was
I was actually going to... No, I was actually going to Bluepoint's Wikipedia page, and I see that they did Gravity Rush Remaster.
There would be nothing more in this world that I would fucking love than a Gravity Rush 3. Not happening, but I would love to see it.
Like, that's the thing with, I think, any of those Studio Japan games. I don't think PlayStation is going to put Bluepoint on one of those because I think they've demonstrated that they do not care about them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I would 100%. That's a sumo game where I'm saying, like, give it to a third party who makes it as an exclusive for the platform, but you don't take up your main. Because the problem with the main studios for Sony right now is all of the PlayStation studios, apart from Housemarque, who are still small-ish, but even then, for a smaller studio kind of thing, they're still quite big.
Yeah.
They have huge studios, and it's like, I honestly think the only reason that Insomniac still makes Ratchet and Clank is because they're a multi-team studio. I don't think Sony would allow them to make Ratchet and Clank anymore if they didn't have 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're the only people making games for PlayStation, I think you have the clause in the contract that lets you do what you want.
With how well Rift Apart's done, that's not the last Ratchet and Clank. We'll get another Ratchet and Clank on PS5.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I also think that, to be honest, I honestly think that's the reason they are trying Sly again. To be honest, is because they've seen how well Ratchet has been received. Or my guess
like even
is,
before that,
when the first I feel like when the first trailer for Ratchet came out and everyone had such a big reaction to it, they were like, "Fuck, people like platformers. We need to start doing games that aren't just third-person action games." The other 2 franchises that I could think of, one, I don't think that Bluepoint would work on Killzone. But I think that I feel like Sony it's the most bland first person shooter that Sony it's the most bland franchise that fucking PlayStation has, to be honest. But I still think they won't let that franchise die,
even though it's in the name. Yeah.
The second one, where there's been rumors that this game's coming back, Infamous. I could 100% see Bluepoint making an Infamous game.
Especially if you're going to make Sucker Punch, like, move on, because I imagine
They're
I
making
don't.
Tsushima.
Yeah, I don't foresee. Yeah, I don't foresee them being like, okay, Sucker Punch, go back to Infamous, and then make Ghost of Tsushima after that.
Yeah, unless they're planning on turning Sucker Punch into a multi-dev team, which I doubt that they're doing. I think the only people that do that are Insomniac.
Yeah,
Because they tried it with other devs. They tried it with Santa
Yeah, like,
Monica. I think they are trying
Naughty
it
Dog
again.
tried it, didn't they?
They're trying it again with Santa Monica because Cory Barlog's working on something right now that isn't God of War.
Right.
And they do small things where they do what most big game studios do, which is they have one big project and then they'll have a small spin-off team who are working on what's next, so that when your game's done, when you finished The Last of Us Part 2, you don't just get to pressing the button and we're done, and then having a load of artists and game designers being like, well, we just literally sit around the office and do fuck all until you come up with the concept for the next game, right? You've got to have that next team. You got to have a small splinter team working on what's next so you can hop straight onto another project.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is what Naughty Dog is doing, and I feel like that's what Sucker Punch is doing. I wish that there'd be more from them. I feel like, because it kind of sucks, because Sucker Punch has so many good IP, and yeah, you can kind of throw them out, but it also kind of sucks that you have to throw them out because they only let them work on one game at a time, if that makes sense.
Everybody pour one out for Rocket Robot on Wheels.
Yeah, never game. Well, that's what they're working on. That is what Bluepoint is working on. But Infamous, if Infamous is coming back, it's not going to be Sucker Punch, and
Yeah.
I can 100% see that being a Bluepoint thing, because that seems like a game that Bluepoint could make.
Yeah, for sure.
And Infamous is one of those franchises where it has been longer. It's been 7 or 8 years since the last Infamous.
It's been like 2014, I believe.
And also, I feel like Infamous is the kind of game where with a fresh pair of eyes and a fresh kind of look on that franchise, you could do something. Now, if they are literally going to go straight, if they're going to go straight back to regular Infamous with Cole and the fucking electric powers, then I'll be instantly turned off. I want to see something new. But
I feel like you'd have to bring something new to the table with that too, because if it's just an open world superhero game,
you already have
you
that
already
with
got Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You have to find some kind of cool spin on it.
Especially how they're saying Spider-Man 2 is a darker game than the original. So they're already doing a more kind of darker tone thing, so you would have to do something that solely makes it unique. And I think what makes Infamous should make Infamous unique is the morality system of actually having an impactful one and not a shitty fucking cosmetic.
Yeah, not just do you want to be blue or red.
Like, that'd be the way to do it, is have it where your actions do have consequences. If you want to be the arsehole, you can be, but have it actually impact the thing and not just change 2 cutscenes or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Fletch will remember that.
I don't know. Is there any other IP? Because the weird thing is all the things that most people would go, oh, they could make this. There are current rumors of other people making them. It's like Sly in rumored production somewhere else. Twisted Metal is apparently being worked on at Lucid. Metal Gear is apparently being worked on by some other random company that's working in collaboration with Konami and
I was going to say, that's like Konami.
Yeah, but they're working in collaboration with PlayStation is the rumor for that.
Yeah, which makes sense. But like, I would have imagined that if they were going to
I don't know. There was always this weird rumor for a while that Bluepoint was going to do the MGS remake.
Yeah, that had been circulating for a while, and after seeing, especially simultaneously with the Silent Hill comeback rumors, it was like, I will believe it when I have like the game in my hand.
Did you?
And not a moment sooner.
You say that there's a Silent Hill comeback. Did you see the PT reference in Death Stranding that they added? They added a PT
in the director's cut.
Yeah, they added a PT reference.
I haven't seen that yet. That's fun.
No, but there's like a weird jump scare involving the shower.
Nice.
In director's cut, which is very PT-esque, and I'm like, there's something weird going on there. I don't know what Kojima's doing, but he's definitely working on a horror game. He's definitely working on a horror game.
It's certainly not abandoned.
Yeah. Which is always funny because I like that Kojima's making a horror game because he hates horror, which I
Yeah.
find fascinating. It's like,
It cracks
I don't
me
like
up.
horror.
He was
I'm
like, I
"Oh."
don't like being scared, but I'm gonna make this. I'm like, yes, do
Yeah,
it.
I don't- yeah.
Your mind has the potential.
It'd be batshit crazy, that's for sure. But they're making Patapon or fucking Loco Roco, dude. That's what they're making. They're making Loco
Ape
Roco
Escape.
for Ape Ape Escape, dude. When's Ape Escape coming back? That's another one where I'm like, they could do a remake or a remaster of that. Why haven't they done a remaster? They did fucking Medieval, but they didn't do Ape Escape. Like,
Yeah.
really? Who the
Now,
fuck gave one about Medieval? I'm sorry, Medieval fans, but who cares? Ape Escape, that
Ethan.
was some good shit. What?
Would you want in a Ape Escape remake? Would you want the control scheme modernized, or would you still want the batshit crazy use R1 to jump
I'd
and
like
use your
the
weapons with the right stick?
I'd like modernized controls with the option of going back to back shit crazy. That would be my preferred.
R1 to
Option.
jump. That's
Yeah, dude.
certainly something. It's like triangle to jump in a Last Guardian.
But I love that experimental shit, you know? It's like going back
Yeah.
to PS1 and seeing tank controls be a thing where people thought that the analog stick movement was a good idea
Yo,
to have the
Croc.
left and right just pivot you. I'm like,
Yeah, that was how the Resident Evil games used to move.
it's how great.
You know what
yeah.
the wacky thing is? Like Capcom proceeded to do that after they had already like found out how to do full 3D movement. Like Devil May Cry moves with an analog stick. Onimusha 2 came out the year after. It had tank controls.
Sounds about right.
Oh, Capcom.
Capcom
Never
gotta love it.
change.
I mean, yeah. Of course they do. Capcom just does its own thing, dude. Capcom's Capcom. You just gotta look at them and go, yeah, good job. Here's a gold sticker. Go keep playing. You go play
I
in
mean,
the
they
corner.
made 6 Mega Man games for the NES.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's just basically the same game 6 times.
That stonks, dude. That stonks. Hey, I mean, Call of Duty does it, so Mega Man just started it.
I
Mega
mean-
Man was the OG. It's fucking FIFA, dude. It's fucking FIFA.
Yeah.
You know, Mega Man did have a soccer game.
Hell yeah.
Hype.
Should have done it yearly. But no, like those are my thoughts on Bluepoint. I don't know if you guys have literally anything else. I think
we've exhausted the well of most IP I can think of.
yeah.
All the ones that would be interesting, yeah.
Like I say, the only other possibility would be if they were working on someone's IP that wasn't PlayStation's, but PlayStation was funding it.
I heard. Actually, on that note, I heard like
what?
someone say, bring up Legacy of Kain, which is a series
Ooh.
that like fascinates me, but I've never gotten into because
I have that
you know
game.
they're old, and I haven't gotten to go back to them yet. But I'd be fascinated to see that brought to life because it's got a cool vibe from what I've observed.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't-
Sony also owns Legend of Dragoon.
Mm.
I'm just saying. Nobody else but me cares about that, but I'm just saying.
I'd play a new one if they made it.
So would I.
Yeah.
I'd play
you know
it
what's-
again.
You know what's weird, right? Is like Sony has its racing game, right, with Gran Turismo. It has
Yeah.
it has its wide range of platforming IP that it doesn't use. It has its plenty of linear narrative video games. It has plenty of its open world still action adventure games. They don't have like their full on RPG. And I'm not counting Horizon or God of War as a fucking
Yeah, those
RPG.
That's not what you mean. Like
I mean, like,
for the longest time, it was just hey, Final Fantasy isn't anywhere else.
Yeah. I'm not
It's
even
not
on
necessarily.
Nintendo
I'm
anymore.
I'm not necessarily just saying JRPG either. It's like Xbox has Bethesda,
Now, yeah.
Nintendo has Monolith, and it's
Hell
like
yeah.
it's like it doesn't matter what kind of RPG it is. It's like Microsoft and Nintendo have their specific developer who makes RPGs, and I mean that's fair enough. It's like it doesn't matter if it's Western or East or whatever. They have their RPGs. Sony, who is known for having RPG, like the main reason that the PlayStation 1 did so well over the Metal Gear is because of the fucking vast amount of RPGs that were on the PlayStation 1 eventually. They got a load of people to switch over because it got a
Yeah.
lot of devs to switch over. And it's just weird to me that they've never made a studio to make their own RPG. They just relied on everybody else. Because I'm not even like talking about right now. There's never really been a PlayStation studio that's been known for making RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
No, like brought up Dark Cloud last week. That was outsourced or that I think PlayStation owns that IP, and it's just Level 5 made it. Level 5 is not a PlayStation studio.
It's just very weird how they rely on Atlas and they rely on Square and they rely on all these other people to make RPGs and stuff like that. And they relied on Bethesda. And they just never have made their own.
And for some reason, they're like, oh, we're going to make our own shooter that isn't special at all and not let this go.
They have a fascination with shooters. They also had those 2 other PlayStation partnership studios that they're working with. What was it? The Jane Redmond one and Deviation or whatever.
Oh,
them
yeah.
2 that are both also making first-person shooters. I'm like, yes, Sony, that's what we need. More first-person shooter IP in the world. Make a damn RPG. Like, that would be like...
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's one thing that they're lacking. People always talk about Xbox is lacking shit. I'm like, no, Xbox is lacking games because they literally have just bought a load of studios that haven't made anything yet. Once Xbox has got the ground running, they're going to have plenty of fucking video games. I'm like, where's the RPG from Sony? That's Bluepoint should make an RPG. That's what they should do. They should make an RPG.
That would be cool. I'd be interested to see what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Bloodborne, Souls games are like classified as their own thing now. I was gonna say technically it is like kind of an action RPG. Very stat based and all that, you know. But
and also very linear though in a way where it's like I feel like you're going through a set order. Like I know that especially in Dark Souls 1, the whole world's connected and you can go between different things in different ways. But I feel like it very much is a set goal, right? You're going through to kill a set number of bosses to get to the end, and there's bosses that you don't have to fight. There's some bosses that you might just stumble upon. But it's not like here's a fucking big ass world, here's a load of like side quests and load of random things to go about and do and just explore. I feel like it's still a very like linear-ish experience in a world, you know? It's like when you go to an area in Bloodborne, there's different areas in Bloodborne, but every area is basically a single-player level that all kind of are interconnected, if that makes sense. Elden Ring may be the one to prove us wrong. Maybe that might be something more RPG, but I don't know. I'd like to see an RPG. If they're doing a new IP, new game, do an RPG.
If they're just yoinking from Sony's IP catalog too, like Legend of Dragoon is another one that like with Siphon Filter, it's been long enough that they could make it their own thing. And like Kyle likes Legend of Dragoon, and he's like one of the 7 people who have played it. So
I did enjoy my time with it, and I would enjoy my time with it even more if it was modernized. Because holy buckets, PS1 backtracking sucks.
I mean, that's probably one of those IPs like Arcane did with Prey, where they don't even have to. It doesn't even have to be a fucking similar thing. It's just like because I remember
just give it the name, and people will be like,
just give it the name and the same like general concepts.
Because the whole idea of Prey from Arcane was that was never supposed to be Prey. Bethesda was like, we have this IP in our back catalog. It's called Prey. Your game's called Prey now, and it's like, okay, like they didn't even want it to be called Prey, like, but it was like, it worked out for them, I guess, because people liked it. But I feel like there's plenty of stuff Bluepoint could be worked on. I can guarantee that half the internet will be disappointed when they find out what that project is.
Yeah, it's true.
But I'm interested. I still really want to play the Demon's Souls remake.
I want to get to that too. That's like, okay, because Elden Ring's going to come out, I'll probably play that first. But the next like, back cataloged Souls game I play is gonna be the Demon's Souls remake.
Same. My PS5 backlog of games is right now. I probably will pick up Returnal first and then Demon's Souls. That's probably the order. Just because I know Elden Ring's out in January and I will be on the day one hype train of buying Elden Ring because why not? But I feel like playing Demon's Souls now, I'd get myself fatigued, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Returnal's higher on the list. But yeah, there you go. Let us know what you guys think Bluepoint is up to. Because like I say, I feel like we've gone through nearly all the possibilities for that fucking studio, and I can guarantee they'll announce
Maybe
it,
they're
and it'll
making
be
F-Zero.
none of them. Metroid Prime 4 has been handed to a third development team. Nintendo's just like, we're restarting production and it's on PlayStation now. Bye. Could you
Refuses
imagine?
to elaborate any further. Leaves.
Oh man.
That's just funny, but no. I feel like we've covered everything. But there you go. Fun little topic to end it on. And with that, I guess our links are on screen right now. You can go and follow us on Twitter to keep up to date with everything that we do outside of the podcast. But if you don't care about us and just care about the podcast, that's cool too. You can go and follow us at Hot Gamers Only on Twitter for updates, or subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Hot Gamers Only. And if you hate our faces, you can just listen to us every week on your favorite podcast service. Just go to Linktree/Hot Gamers Only, or search for Hot Gamers Only on your favorite podcast service like Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Yeah, we're done. That's been our show today. Thanks for hanging out. It's been a fun one, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Going in with Metroid and Monkey Ball and talking about Bluepoint, I was expecting it to be a bit of a sleeper, but I've actually had quite
I
fun.
didn't think this
quite a
would
bit
be
of
this
fun.
long, truthfully.
Yeah, and I've had quite a lot of fun. It's been an entertaining little
Yeah.
discussion, so we hope you guys have enjoyed it. But yeah, we'll be back next week with God knows what, because it's a filler week, but we'll be back with something. But until then...
What do you want our 3x3 to be? Comment below.
Yeah, comment below your ideas for filler episodes and we'll get to them. But yeah, until that filler episode, we hope you have an awesome week. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.